After climbing up the approach, you will enter the precincts of the Kiyomizu temple. The first part of the temple can be visited for free. There are a lot of people taking pictures around the stone steps here. This building is on the left side of the stairs. It's a simple building that many people pass by, but you don't see it often in other temples. In the old days, warriors and aristocrats who visit the temple on horseback used to park their horses here. It was built in the late 15th century and is one of the oldest buildings in the Kiyomizudera. You could park 5 horses at the same time. The fact that there is a horse parking lot is a proof that people of high status used to visit here. It shows the importance of the Kiyomizu-dera, doesn't it? It certainly made visiting the temple by horse easier. You may be distracted by the splendid Neomon gate, but be sure to also look at the Komainu, the guardian dogs. What? If you are wondering why there are Komainu at the entrance of a temple, you are already a Japan expert. Yes, Komainu are the sacred animals that protect shrines, so they are usually found at the entrance of a Shinto shrine. Actually, these Komainu are the guardians of the Jishu shrine, which is enshrined in the precinct of the Kiyomizu-dera. And here's another strange thing. Normally, one of the Komainu has its mouth open and the other one has it closed, right? But these Komainu both have their mouths open. Why is that? There are a few explanations, and I'll introduce 2 of them. The first one is that they both have big mouths and are shouting out their teachings loudly so that everyone can hear them. The second theory is that they are both opening their mouth along with the worshippers being out of breath after climbing up the hill. It's kind of cute, isn't it? Until 1942, there were couple guardian dogs weighing 1 ton, but they were confiscated by the military during World War II, when metal was needed to make weapons. For fear that such tragedy would happen again, the next Komainu were made of stone. They were donated to the shrine in 1944. You can't make weapons out of stone, can you? It is said that the stone Komainu were modeled after those behind the great south gate of the Todaiji Temple in Nara. Now let's go up the stairs between the Komainu. Towering at the top of the stairs is the 14-meter-high Neomon gate. It's unclear when the Neomon was first built, but the current gate is thought to have been built between the late 15th and the late 16th century. Most of the buildings in Kiyomizu-dera were destroyed by fire in 1629, but the Neomon was located far away from the fire, so it escaped the destruction. It's amazing that such an old wooden gate is still standing. It's hard to see because it's covered with a net to keep the pigeons out there. The gate is called Neomon because there are Neo statues enshrined on both sides. Each statue is 3.6 meters tall, making them the biggest Neo statues in Kyoto. The artist is unknown, but we know that the statues were made in the first half of the 14th century. The Neo statues are always displayed in pairs, one with its mouth open and the other with its mouth closed, right? I wonder why. Like with Komainu, there are many theories about why this is so. the Neo-guard entrance to temples. On the other hand, Komainu guard entrance to shrines, don't they? So one theory is that the one with the mouth open catches evil spirits, and the one with the mouth closed keeps them inside its body and prevents them from going out. The other theory is that the first letter of the Japanese alphabet is A sound, mouth open, and the last letter of the Japanese alphabet is pronounced with mouth closed. It is said that the first and the last letter of the Japanese alphabet represent the beginning to the end, the birth and the death. In other words, the life of a human being. Then there is a curtain with a deer, the animal who was a contributor to the construction of the Kiyomizudera. The small hill in front of the Neo-mon is the Shikamazuka or Deer Mound. If you've already listened to the history of Kiyomizudera, you remember what it is, right? The Neo-mon used to be called the Blindfold Gate. The main hall of the Kiyomizudera that was built on a hill would overlook the imperial palace where the emperor lived. It is said that the gate was built to prevent this impoliteness from happening. Although many buildings have been built in between now, the Kiyomizudera precinct may have been able to overlook all of Kyoto in those days. After passing through the Neo-mon gate and going upstairs, you will see the bell tower on the left. The bonsho or the bell weighs about 2 tons, so it is supported by 6 pillars. In the old days, as there were no clocks, the bell used to tell the time. Since the bell used to be struck many times a day, even the sturdiest bell got damaged eventually. The bell made in 1478 has been used for more than 500 years, then retired on the New Year's Eve in 2007. The current bell is the 5th generation, which was donated in 2008. It is said that the older the bell gets, the shorter the gong sound it makes after being struck. Usually, people pass by this bell and don't pay much attention to it. But on December 31st, it is very crowded here. Yes, it's a New Year's Eve bell at the Kiyomizudera. It is said that human beings have 108 earthly desires, so the temple bell is struck 108 times. In order to strike the bell, you need to make a reservation in advance. But the bell at the Kiyomizudera is so popular that it actually seems to be struck more than 108 times. That's the moment that this bell gets the most attention of the year. I'd love to hear the sound of the bell if I'm around on the New Year's Eve. Let's keep moving toward the main hall. On the other side of the bell tower, you will see the 3-story pagoda and the west gate. You could see them from below, right? Let's get a bit closer to the pagoda. At about 31 meters high, it is the second tallest 3-story pagoda in Japan. It was built to celebrate the birth of the crown prince in 847 by the Emperor Saga at that time. Unfortunately, it burned down many times, and the current pagoda was rebuilt in 1632. Of course, restoration has been done many times since then, so the colors are very beautiful. Inside the pagoda, a statue of Dainichi Nyorai is enshrined. Now let's take a look at the roof. In general, you can see the onigawara, which are clay tiles with demon faces on the roofs of temple buildings. This is to keep the evil spirits away from the buildings. However, on the southeast side of this pagoda, instead of an onigawara, there is a dragon god tile. Why is there only one dragon god tile here? There are many theories about this fact. The first theory is that the northwest side of the temple is protected by the firefighting god believed to be on Mount Otago, while there's no guardian god against fire in the southeast. So the dragon was placed, which was thought to be a messenger of water. Another theory is that on the east side of the three-story pagoda, there is a sacred waterfall, the Ottawa Waterfalls, which is believed to be inhabited by the dragon god. It is said that the dragon tile is placed on the east side to express the worship towards the messenger of water, dragon god. Is it interesting? Please have a look. Next to the three-storied pagoda is a Simon, the West Gate. It was rebuilt in 1631, and only the emperor's envoys were allowed to pass through. The view of the city of Kyoto from the side of the West Gate is very beautiful. It is said that even in the past, the sunset as seen from here was so wonderful that it reminded people of the Buddhist paradise. So it is said that it was once used as a place for ascetic practices to gain enlightenment by watching the sunset. Even today, it is not possible to pass through this gate, but please enjoy the splendid view of Kyoto from between the gate. Next to the three-story pagoda is a sutra hall. It houses the temple's sutra and was once used as a lecture hall. Currently, it is not open to the public, but it is sometimes used for exhibitions of Buddhist artifacts owned by the Kiyomizudera. This is the only part that can be seen for free. Now, let's pay your admission fee in front of the sutra hall and let's go inside.